Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the May 4th, 2021 legislative session of the Wicomico County Council. If you would, I'd like to call the meeting to order and would like to start with the opening prayer and then the Pledge of Allegiance. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass. Some temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thy is the kingdom, the power.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation.
Before we get started, I'd like to take a moment and have a moment of silence for Delmar Police Officer Corporal Keith Hecook. So if you would, give us a moment. Thank you. Ms. Hurley, will you please read the items on the consent agenda?
Good evening, Mr. President, council members, ladies and gentlemen. There are 6 items on the consent agenda this evening. We have legislative minutes from April the 22nd, 2021, open work session minutes from April the 6th, 2021 on the proposed fee increases to recreation programs, open work session minutes from April the 6th, 2021 on the discussion of invasive species management program, closed work session minutes from February the 16th, 2021 on a personnel matter pertaining to appointments to Charter Review Committee, closed work session minutes from February the 16th, 2021 to conduct collective bargaining negotiation or consider matters that relate to the negotiations, and closed work session minutes from February the 16th, 2021 pertaining to a personnel matter on evaluations.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Chair vote. Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Consent agenda passes unanimously. Ms. Hurley?
Okay, the first item.
Well, right now we've got a proclamation. Do we have Mr. Peacock here? Yes, he is.
Yes. First thing I'd like to do is thank the County Council for joining the Airport Commission in this proclamation. And I would like to ask Allie Jimerson, her father, Daniel No, and your mother to join me up here at the podium. A little background. Daniel and Allie had a high school project. Turns out there was competition as well. They chose to do a documentary on the history of the Salisbury-Wicomico County Airport, and they did a beautiful job. They turned it in, and at this point, we're honoring them because they also won first place. So what I'd like to do is read the proclamation. The County Council of Wicomico County, Maryland. It is with great pleasure that the acting county executive, the members of the Wicomico County Council, and the members of the Wicomico County Airport Commission extend the certificate of appreciation to Allie Jimerson for your work on the Salisbury-Wicomico County Regional Airport documentary. We thank you for the time and dedication to this project, done this 4th day of May 2021, signed by the Airport Commission and the Wicomico County Council. Thank you, Allie. Would you like to say anything?
Yeah, so this,
Get right up there.
I had a lot of fun doing this
Can you
project.
pull your mask down? I don't think anybody can hear you.
Sorry. I had a lot of fun doing this project. It was a big learning experience, and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And I'd also like to say thank you for this recognition.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to read the next one. County Council of Wicomico County, Maryland. It is with great pleasure that the acting county executive, the members of the Wicomico County Council, and the members of the Wicomico County Airport Commission extend this certificate of appreciation to Daniel Ngo for your work on the Salisbury-Wicomico County Regional Airport documentary. We thank you for your time and dedication to this project, done this 4th day of May 2021, signed by the Wicomico County Airport Commission and Wicomico County Council. Congratulations, Dr. Daniel. Would you like to say anything?
I'm very thankful to be honored and be recognized by the county, and it was a lot of fun doing this project and to get to know more about the Salisbury Airport. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Al and Daniel.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you all.
Yes.
Where could this be viewed at, this documentary? Is it
I'm
on
sorry?
Where could it be viewed? Is it on PAC 14 or?
No, I tell you what, I've got it as if I can send you two things, a link to the documentary, and also they were interviewed on Delmarva Life as well, and I can send you a link to that as well if you're interested.
Yes, please.
You'll send it, Ms. Hurley, that way she can put it on our website and everybody can get it. That would be
Absolutely.
great. Yeah,
I'll get it
thank
done.
you.
Thank you.
You deserve the recognition. Thank you. And now we have another proclamation to recognize Children's Mental Health Matters Week. Ms. Meredith Miller, with mental health coordinator with Wicomico County Board of Education. And this will be read by Ms. Nicole Ackley.
Good evening. This proclamation is near and dear to my heart, as Wicomico County was the first county in Maryland to receive the award of Community Champions for Children's Mental Health Week. So that was the beginning, and now we are in every public school in Wicomico County. That's definitely applaudable. So, Children's Mental Health Matters Week. Whereas mental health is a key component of a child's healthy development, and Children's Mental Health Matters provides the opportunity to focus on the important matters. Whereas according to the United States Department of Health and Human Services, 1 in every 5 children are diagnosed with a mental health condition. Whereas research has shown that early identification and treatment of a mental health disorder among children provides better opportunities to lead full and productive lives. Whereas children and youth with mental health challenges and their families benefit from access to services, support, and also benefit from the integration of behavioral health, primary care, in education, and child welfare. Whereas it is important that families and communities learn about warning signs of mental health disorders and where to obtain necessary assistance and treatment. Now therefore, the Wicomico County Council and the County Executive hereby proclaim the week beginning May 2nd as Children's Mental Health Matters. We call all citizens to observe an effort to raise awareness among children's mental health. I've had the opportunity to serve with Ms. Miller. She's the Wicomico County Mental Health Coordinator. She's also the chair of our Behavioral Health Committee here in Wicomico County. She is truly dedicated to children's mental health and bringing services that are much needed in our county. So, Ms. Miller.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you again, Mrs. Ackley, for that very lovely introduction. I would just like to say thank you for recognizing this important week and helping us raise awareness in our community around children's mental health. Wicomico Public Schools has partnered with the Children's Mental Health Matters campaign and have registered this year as a community champion. And FYI, we won last year. We were a recipient as a community champion. We also have every single school in our district registered as school champions. During the last year and 2 months, we have continued to provide mental health supports to students both virtually and in person, and will continue to do this in the years to come. We are working with students to help erase the stigma associated with mental health by encouraging the importance of being healthy, not just in our bodies, but in their minds as well. So again, on behalf of Wicomico Public Schools, we would like to thank you again for allowing us this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations to Ms. Miller, and thank you, Ms. Ackley. Next, we have Mr. Paul Wilbur, the County Attorney.
Tonight is the introduction of the Legislative Bill 2020-101. It's the annual budget and appropriation bill for Wacomico County to adopt the county budget consisting of the general fund revenue and expense budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2022, the capital budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2022, the governmental and enterprise funds budgets for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2022, and to appropriate funds for all expenditures for the fiscal year ending July 1, 2021, or beginning July 1, 2021, and ending June 30, 2022.
Yep. Need a motion to introduce Legislative Bill 2021-01.
So moved.
Got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, the first budget session will be held on Friday, May 7th in the council chambers, and we'll be having the public hearing on the budget in a couple of minutes. All in favor of introducing Legislative Bill 2021-01, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Legislative Bill 2021-01 passes unanimously. And now, Ms. Hurley.
Okay, so next we do have the public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2022 operating and capital budgets. A public notice was posted on the county's website and published in the Daily Times stating that a public hearing would be held this evening at 6 p.m. The Acton County Executive's proposed budget is posted on the county's website, and a summary is displayed on the screen, and Lynn Sandy will go through that as I read off the funds and amounts. I also have a copy of the presentation on the table as you walk in, showing the departmental requests for fiscal year 22. The Acton County Executive has submitted to the County Council, as required by the Charter, a balanced budget. He proposes a budget funded by many revenue sources, the principal of which is your local property tax revenue. The budget proposes a decrease in the real property tax rate, but since the property tax rate is higher than the constant yield rate, a public hearing is required by state law and will be held at the next council meeting scheduled for May the 18th at 10 a.m. And looking at the expenditures for the operating budget, I will read each fund number and title as shown in the budget, and then the floor will be open for public comments. If anyone has anything they would like to say in regards to any of the funds, after I'm finished reading, please go to the microphone and state your name, county of residence, and provide your comments. We do ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes or less to allow time for everyone to speak, and try not to repeat what other speakers have already stated. So starting with Fund 01, which is the County Council. That's $662,008. Fund 02, Circuit Court, is $1,995,793. Fund 03, Orphans Court, is $82,389. Fund 04, State's Attorney, $3,972,316. Fund 05, Executive/Administration, is $594,023. Fund 06, Community Promotion, $37,500. Fund 07, Elections, $1,693,426. Fund 08, Finance, $1,323,618. Public Accountant, Fund 09, is $120,000. Fund 10, Purchasing, $279,191. Fund 11, Law, $345,804. Fund 12, Human Resources, $610,074. Fund 13, Planning and Zoning, $1,792,562. Fund 14, General Services, $1,249,984. Fund 15, Information Technology, $1,385,829. Fund 16, Liquor License Board, $257,088. Fund 17, Sheriff, $14,116,660. Fund 18, Salisbury Fire/Ambulance, $745,438. Fund 19, Volunteer Ambulance, $4,209,858. Fund 20, Volunteer Fire, $1,834,044. Fund 21, Corrections, $18,568,365. Fund 22, Emergency Services, $3,578,361. Fund 23, Protection of Animals, $413,046. Fund 24, Public Works, $680,173. Fund 27, Mosquito Control, $206,334. Fund 28, Gypsy Moth Control, $13,930. Fund 30, Board of Education, $58,225,794.
Ms. Early,
Yes.
we have somebody who wants to
Okay.
comment.
Good evening, President Dodd and members of the council. I'll be very brief this evening, but I just wanted to take an opportunity for a simple thank you for your continued support. As you know from the FY 2022 general operating budget that's been submitted from the Wycomico County Board of Education, our budget for the coming year is a bare bones maintenance of effort budget. I will point out to you that the figure that Mrs. Hurley has mentioned is still, we don't have a definite figure yet from the state, and we're working with the county executive's office, and we hope the beginning of next week to have a figure, but that is the highest of the possible funding scenarios, where it's very likely that that figure will be slightly less than that. So as soon as we know, you'll know, and we should have that information in time when we have our budget work session with you. But I do want to comment that we are especially thankful to our employee groups this year, our teachers, our classified employees, and our administrators who stepped up to the plate, understanding the impact financially and otherwise on this past year, the impact on our community, and through negotiations agreed to only a step on the salary scale and no cost of living increase in salaries for the coming year. It's only through this successful collaboration, a negligible increase in health care, and the hard work and dedication of budget managers to realign existing funds to meet priorities for the coming year that we have been able to balance a maintenance of effort budget for FY22. I also want to thank you for your support for our capital projects and just give you a bit of an update. The new Beaver Run, we anticipate to be fully enclosed by July and to open for students and staff in the fall of '22. The Mardella Middle and High School project is moving along nicely with the schematic design approved by the board very recently and submitted to MSDE for review. And then finally, through your continued support, the West Side Intermediate roof is slated for completion this summer, and we do appreciate your agreement to provide the necessary funding for that project as pay-go for FY22. So on behalf of the board members, and we do have with us this evening Mr. Brown and Mr. Palmer, who joined us this evening for the meeting, on behalf of all of the board, I do want to express my thanks for your continued support. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hanlon, and welcome everyone from the board. Are there any more comments on the Board of Ed before we move forward? Okay, Ms. Hurley.
Next is Fund 31, Community College, $6,348,512. Fund 32, Public Library, $1,538,400.
Ms. Hurley,
Yes.
you have someone who wants to speak.
Good evening, John Palmer, Delmar, Maryland. I don't normally comment on the public library, but somewhere in the past there was a lot of work going on with council members about approving a library or library annex for the Pittsville, Willards, and Powellville area. And since Bob's passing, I must have missed what has been going on with that. But I was just wondering if anywhere in this expenses here, there is any movement on that project. So that's just my comment.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer.
Next is Tri-County Council, that's $703,061. Fund 34 is Public Health, that's $4,052,199. Fund 35 is GOB Security, that's $76,462. Fund 36 is Extension Service, $115,815. Fund 37 is Community Access Channel, $155,000. Fund 38, Office of Economic Development, $175,000. Fund 40, Pensions and Retirement, $3,010. Fund 41, Hospital Disability and Death Benefit, that's $207,245. Fund 42, Workers' Comp / Liability Insurance, that's $575,000. Fund 43, County Debt Retirement, that's $4,561,716. Fund 45, Social Services, $3,769. Transfer to other funds and contingency, which is Fund 46, that's $7,950,164. Fund 47, Fleet Vehicles, that's $450,000. Fund 50 is Roads, that's $11,723,702. Fund 60, Recreation and Parks, that's $2,714,401. Fund 83, Grants and Mandates, $433,210. Fund 84, Teen Adult Center / Dove Point, $61,363. Fund 85, Maintenance of Aged and Community, that's $280,000. Fund 86, Commission on Aging, $750. Fund 87, Life Crisis Center, $13,500. Fund 51, Solid Waste, $12,516,092. Fund 52, Airport, $3,098,718. Fund 53, Electrical Board, $53,060. Fund 54, Local Management Board, $1,337,286. Fund 56, Narcotics Task Force, $1,032,500. Fund 60, Recreation and Parks, $4,747,353. Fund 61 and 64, Wacomico Youth and Civic Center, that's $5,814,002. Fund 62, Tourism, $2,546,010. And our last fund is the nursing home, and that's at $7,552,734. If you have any public comments, please go to the microphone and state your name, county of residence, and provide your comments.
Do we have any public comments on the budget? Okay, if there are no other public comments, this concludes the public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2022 budget. Ms. Hurley?
Okay, next on the agenda is Resolution Number 37-2021. This is authorizing the acting county executive to accept a grant award from the Federal Aviation Administration through the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriation Act in the amount of $1,023,818 for costs related to operations, personnel, cleaning, sanitation, janitorial services, combating the spread of pathogens at the airport, and debt service payments. And we do have Mr. Tony Rudy here, who is our airport manager, if there are any questions.
Okay, have a motion to approve resolution number 37-2021.
So moved.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Have Mr. Rudy here. All right, no discussion. All in favor of resolution number 37-2021, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Resolution number 37-2021 passes unanimously. That was easy, Tony.
Next for your consideration is Resolution Number 38-2021, authorizing the acting county executive to accept a grant award from the Federal Aviation Administration through the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriation Act in the amount of $15,016 to provide relief from rent and minimum annual guarantees to on airport parking, on airport car rental, and in-terminal airport concessions.
Need a motion to approve resolution number 38-2021.
So moved.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Question.
Yes, Mr. Cannon.
Mr. Rudy, good to have you here. Thank you. And first of all, congratulations on putting all this together. It's no easy task when you're dealing with the FAA and all the hoops that you have to go through. We recognize that. This particular amount here, would this go to offset the benefits that we gave them I think it was a few months ago? I think we forgave some type of cost.
Yes, there was a minimum annual guarantee that we relieved both the rental car agencies and the parking concession from. From my understanding, this only goes back until December 27th of 2020. So carrying forward from there, we could probably recover some of those monies. There are still some unanswered questions as far as eligibility, but I believe since we weren't under an existing contract and we brought that to council before, I think we can go ahead and recover some of this money.
It's more out of curiosity than anything else because it's not a great deal. It's not a huge amount. I just was curious about that.
A little bit helps.
Right. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cannon. Any more discussion? All in favor of resolution number 38-2021, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Resolution number 38-2021 passes unanimously. Ms. Hurley.
The next item for business is Resolution Number 39-2021. This is authorizing the acting county executive to accept a grant amendment to the original CARES Act grant for the Taxiway A Phase 2B rehabilitation project.
Need a motion to approve resolution number 39-2021.
So moved.
Got a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second by Mr. Davis. Any discussion? All in favor of resolution number 39-2021, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Resolution number 39-2021 passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Rudy.
Okay, the next item is a submission of an appointment and reappointments to the Animal Appeals Board. Per Charter Section 315 and Section 133-27 of the County Code, the acting county executive has submitted an appointment and 2 reappointments to the Animal Appeals Board. The Animal Appeals Board makes advisory recommendations regarding changes, implementation, and administration of the animal control laws of the county, as well as the schedule of fines. They also hear and decide appeals made by the Animal Control Authority concerning the classification of the animal as potentially dangerous or dangerous.
All right, need a motion to approve resolution number 41-2021.
So moved.
Got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of resolution number 41-2021, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Resolution number 41-2021 passed unanimously. Ms. Hurley.
I just want to clarify that that appointment was for Cheryl Calloway to the Animal Appeals Board.
Thank you.
Yep. And then Resolution Number 42-2021 is confirming the reappointment of Ola K. Meadowcroft to the Animal Appeals Board.
All right, need a motion to approve resolution number 42-2021.
So moved.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of resolution number 42-2021, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Resolution number 42-2021 passed unanimously. Ms. Harley.
Resolution number 43-2021 is confirming the reappointment of Captain Todd Richardson to the Animal Appeals Board.
Need a motion to approve resolution number 43-2021.
So move.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of resolution number 43-2021, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Resolution number 43-2021 passed unanimously. Ms. Harley?
Next is the submission of an appointment and several reappointments to the Wacomico County Board of Library Trustees. Per Charter Section 315, the acting county executive has submitted an appointment and several reappointments to the Board of Library Trustees. The Library Board of Trustees manages and oversees the library for the good and welfare of the citizens of Wacomico County. Resolution number 44-2021 is confirming the reappointment of Michelle J. Canopy, Ph.D., to the Wacomico County Board of Library Trustees.
Need a motion to approve resolution number 44-2021.
So moved.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, any discussion? All in favor of resolution number 44-2021, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Resolution number 44-2021 passed unanimously. Ms. Harley.
Next is resolution number 45-2021, confirming the reappointment of George M. Demko, Ph.D., to the Wacomico County Board of Library Trustees.
Need a motion to approve resolution number 45-2021.
So moved.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of resolution number 45-2021, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Resolution number 45-2021 passed unanimously. Ms. Harley.
Resolution number 46-2021 is confirming the reappointment of H. Scott Duncan, Ph.D., to the Wacomico County Board of Library Trustees.
Need a motion to approve resolution number 46-2021.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of resolution number 46-2021, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Resolution number 46-2021 passed unanimously. Ms. Harley.
Resolution number 47-2021 is confirming the reappointment of Richard M. Duvall, Esquire, to the Wacomico County Board of Library Trustees.
Need a motion to approve resolution number 47-2021.
So moved.
Got a motion, do we have a second? Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of resolution number 47-2021, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes Chair votes aye. Resolution number 47-2021 passes unanimously. Ms. Harley.
Resolution number 48-2021 is confirming the reappointment of Maida F. Finch, Ph.D., to the Wacomico County Board of Library Trustees.
Need a motion to approve resolution number 48-2021.
So moved.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of resolution number 48-2021, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Resolution number 48-2021 passes unanimously. Ms. Harley.
Resolution number 49-2021 is confirming the reappointment of Richard C. Keenan, Ph.D., to the Wacomico County Board of Library Trustees.
Need a motion to approve resolution number 49-2021.
So moved.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of resolution number 49-21, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Resolution number 49-2021 passed unanimously. Ms. Harley.
Resolution number 50-2021 is confirming the reappointment of James L. Otway, Esquire, to the Wacomico County Board of Library Trustees.
Need a motion to approve resolution number 50-2021.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of resolution number 50-2021, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Resolution number 50-2021 passed unanimously. Ms. Harley.
Resolution number 51-2021 is confirming the appointment of Michelle M. Slahofer, Ph.D., to the Wacomico County Board of Library Trustees.
Need a motion to approve resolution number 51-2021 and a second.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of resolution number 51-2021, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Resolution number 51-2021 passing unanimously. Congratulations and thank you, everyone. At this time, we have public comments. Please limit all public comments to 3 minutes or less. Any presented material may be submitted to council members. If so, please include 10 copies. No derogatory remarks, personal attacks, or comments. Do we have any public comments? Yes, Mr. Palmer.
John Palmer, Delmar, Maryland. In about a month, the governor is going to be signing legislation that grants the county council the powers to do property tax credits on building construction projects. Now, this was passed in the county council with a 4-3 vote. So what I'm asking is that when these building projects start coming before you, that you, and since this could affect every person in this county, I ask that you make this a supermajority vote for these types of projects instead of a simple majority vote. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Palmer. Do we have any more public comments? Yes, sir.
Good evening, President Larry Dodd and Wicomico County Council. My name is Trent Swanson, and I represent Algonquin Ultras, Inc., which is a nonprofit organization that promotes trail use on Delmarva. Our purpose is to not only promote it, but to maintain trails in Delmarva and encourage the use of trails among the members of Wicomico County. Like myself, I live in Fruitland. And also by inviting members from outside of the county, tourism, ecotourism, to come and enjoy the trails of Delmarva. We do this primarily through races that we put on, like the Pemmican 24 that happens every September and sells out in less than an hour and a half with individuals and groups running. But we see that there is an opportunity for above Naylor Mill, Conley Mill area, for an opportunity for another park in Wicomico County. And we believe that we can do this by setting that land aside and having it reserved for tourism, have it reserved for families, individuals like myself, athletes, coming out to run, to hike, to bird watch, maybe equestrian trails. There's enough land out there once the land is taken out for the landfill to have various ponds, whether it's fishing, whether it's camping. If you think of people that live in Salisbury or in Pittsville and Fruitland, you have to drive usually about 30 minutes to go to a decent campsite. Wouldn't it be nice to have something just up the road? And wouldn't it be nice to connect Naylor Mill with Conley Mill and have an even larger area? Right now, Naylor Mill is used by the mountain biking groups around this area, by the trail running groups, by bird watchers, and by families. And the more that people use these trails, the more they become recognized. And the more they become recognized, the more you have people coming to visit Delmarva. Now, I'm a resident, so I want stuff for us. But I also love the fact that when we do things with Worcester County down in Pocomoke, and we put on the Algonquin 50K, we have over 200 people running it in February during a pandemic, which is amazing. So we know that if we build it, they will come. You may have heard that before. And my ask is to have this on your agenda each time you meet so we can come and share our ideas and work closely with Wicomico County so we can get the wheels moving and to get that land set aside to work with the rec and park and to create a park up there. It would be something that would be a lasting legacy for each of you to say that your name is part of it. And I'm more interested, not only in myself, but my children. We're going to be living on Delmarva for many years to come. And the more parks, the more opportunities that people have to go outside and to be active, the less they'll be inside and doing things that maybe aren't going to help their physical and mental health, which was discussed earlier. So my ask is just to get it on the agenda, get it to a vote, and hopefully we can all work together to have another park in the Salisbury and the Wicomico County area. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Swanson. Some good ideas. Do we have any more public comments? Any more public comments? Okay, council comments. Mr. Cannon.
Thank you, President Dodd. We had a moment of silence earlier. for Corporal Hecook, and I prepared a statement I'd like to read that I did want to express my condolences to Corporal Hecook's family and the Delmar community for their recent tragic loss. Corporal Hecook contributed 22 very distinguished years of service and dedication to the police force and to his community. He stood proud as a leader in law enforcement, and I know his family stood proud as well of his great accomplishments and are more than grateful for the many years and wonderful times they experienced together. I wish the Hecook family strength and perseverance as they recover from this very challenging time in their lives. I also wish the same for the rest of our proud men and women in law enforcement who also serve so bravely and vigilantly each and every day in defense of those in need. May each of you stay safe and steadfast as you pursue your honorable and dedicated duties protecting our lives, our homes, and our communities. I know that I personally and my fellow members on the council will, without hesitation, continue to support and remain vigilant in defending the men and women serving on behalf of us all. Those are our last true line of defense individuals, guaranteeing our public safety. Again, my sincerest condolences and best wishes go out to Corporal Hecook's family and to Corporal Hecook himself for his unwavering bravery, dedication, and sacrifice. He will always be with us in our hearts and our prayers. And I'd also like to acknowledge best wishes and prayers to Steve and Judy Franklin as well during their time of recovery. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cannon. Well said. Do we have any more council comments? Mr. Hastings.
I don't think I could say anything more than that. Certainly the Delmar community, it's amazing to see how many folks, the Wicomico community came out in support of after this tragedy. And so I don't think I could say it any better than Mr. Cannon already did. But my thoughts and prayers certainly with the family. I did want to just make sure to also bring to attention today. I know a lot of us in the crowd, I think a couple of us were here, went to the inclusive playground that had just opened up in the complex, and it's just an amazing facility. It's something else, just another thing for our community to be really proud of. And so thanks for all the folks who helped make that happen. And last thing I'll also say is this is Teacher Appreciation Week. Mm-hmm. I think we get the announcement this week for Teacher of the Year, and thanks to all the folks all the great educators out there, including my siblings, who I love dearly, and one of them who is hopefully we'll get it. She's runner-up, so thanks to all the folks who are out there. I do appreciate it.
Mr. Holloway.
Yes, I had the opportunity myself and council president to go to the detention center today. We were invited, not committed. But anyway, for recognize detention center employees for the week. It's those folks that work out there, people don't see them. You don't know who they are, or you hope you don't know who they are. Anyway, we'll put it that way. They're the silent, I guess you call them we call them the silent heroes, or the ones that take care of people that make unfortunate decisions. And I just want to recognize them. They do a great job, and like I say, they don't get recognized enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ackley?
Very well said, both gentlemen. I had the opportunity to visit the sensory playground today at Field 7.5. It's absolutely amazing that it's finished. I was part of the original community that advocated for the beginning of that playground, and it's amazing that we have that in Wicomico County, and we're able to support the children and the families that truly will benefit from it.
Thank you. Any more council comments? Okay. Again, Mr. Cannon, thank you for that. I don't think I could have said anything without getting choked up. I did attend the prayer vigil for Corporal Hecook on the day that he was attacked, and it's very impressive to see the Delmar community from both states there offering their support. And then his homecoming was Sunday, and all across the state there were a lot of people that were offering support, and it's very touching. So I do want to state that his funeral will be this Monday at 10 a.m. at Emmanuel Wesleyan Church if anyone is interested in attending. With that said, I have a note that the next Charter Review Committee meeting will be May 6th at 6 p.m. at the Flanders Room at the Wycomico Youth and Civic Center, if anyone is interested in attending. And need a motion and a second to adjourn from legislative session to go into open work sessions, followed by a closed work session pursuant to the general provisions article of Section 3-305B17 as follows: to consult with legal counsel to protect the attorney-client privilege, and two, to discuss a personnel matter pertaining to independent legal counsel to protect the confidentiality of the individuals. I need a motion and a second. Got a motion by Mr. Hastings, and who was the second? And a second by Mr. McCain. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, so we're going to go into open work session. Ms. Hurley? Do we have Mr. Rudy here?
Yes, we do. And the first open work session is to discuss the reallocation of CARES grant funding.
Mr. Rudy?
Good evening again. So with the FAA approving our first development project through the CARES funding for the Taxiway A Phase 2B project, they are basically deducting that amount out of the original CARES grant. And it's my understanding they will be issuing a new grant in that same amount. That's why we had the resolution earlier. But since, so we've got a couple things going on here. With the other two grants that we're expecting to come in for the $1,023,818 and the $15,016 grant, those grants can only be used for specific items, basically operational needs, personnel cost, janitorial services, et cetera. So we're planning on using those funds, and there's only a limited time. I believe we only have a year from grant acceptance to use those funds. So we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to try to use those first and foremost, since the CARES Act money is good for 4 years down the road, or well, coming up on 3 years now. With the projects we identified for development at the airport, at the time we applied for the CARES Act grant, there was very little guidance as to what the parameters were going to be for these projects. Since then, we found out that typically we need to follow all the federal provisions, including Davis-Bacon Act, all of the design criteria that the FAA typically requires for any of these projects. So, and the construction administration as well, and the reporting, which is a weekly thing that the FAA expects. So inevitably, these projects are going to be slightly increased in costs. So I figured that the funds from the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriation Act can help offset some of those costs for those projects. So we should be in pretty good shape. We also identified kind of two other needs that are fairly urgent since we created our initial list. And if you have the updated spreadsheet in front of you, I can kind of go over where these costs have gotten realigned and the two new projects we identified. So the first project was the Piedmont parking lot and crosswalk. There's going to be some additional costs there, roughly about $30,000 we estimated, to complete that project with, again, with the wage rates and the construction administration that's needed. The second project is the Taxiway Alpha, which we just got that grant amendment for, about an additional $60,000 in increased costs. The next project was the aircraft rescue and firefighting building. That went up from $1.825 million to $2.513 million roughly. We still won't know the final cost until that actually goes out to bid. But again, because of all the FAA parameters, we did have that project scaled back at one point. But with the design of that building, FAA requires certain things to be in that building, so that's going to bump the cost back up. two new projects that we identified are our air traffic control tower. There's some aging radio equipment that it was identified in the past, but it wasn't really felt an urgent need, and it is getting rather old now. So we felt this is a good opportunity to be able to fund new radio equipment that they need in the control tower. And then this winter it became very apparent with some snow removal equipment that we have. We have some weak links that if one particular piece of equipment was to go down, we could face some challenges getting snow removed in a timely fashion, which would affect flights for not only Piedmont but our other customers. So we kind of developed a multifunction piece of equipment that can be used for both snow removal, for loading our de-icing materials, and also having a kind of a boom arm mower on it to mow some of our ditches. We've had problems in the past with basically a safety concern with tractors potentially rolling over in those ditches, not being able to maintain those. So we came up with a piece of equipment that could satisfy all those needs as a backup piece of equipment and really help our winter operations and our summer mowing. So with all those changes, we had a very slight reduction in fiscal year '24 for the contribution to our operations and maintenance budget. So those were the changes I was proposing tonight.
All right. Do we have any questions or comments from Mr. Rudy?
Question for you.
Mr. Cannon.
Hang on a second, lost it right. The auto parking attendant, the 150,000.
Yes.
Does that mean we will no longer need to have the company that we've been working with hired to actually handle the parking lot? This would put it in an automated process, whereas it would be simply easy in and easy out, and we would no longer have a third party?
That's correct. This will replace that contract.
So that $150,000 investment, that will save us quite a bit, won't it, over the years?
Yes.
Yeah, because that was quite a bit of money that we were paying.
It is an expensive contract. It is typical of contracts like that at airports, but and we just received proposals in. I believe there were 5 proposals we received. So we're currently reviewing those. We had some questions for the vendors, but we're hoping that the systems they proposed will be fully automated. We will offer a remote monitoring system. So if someone does have a problem in the lot, they have someone they can call on and get immediate response to resolve their problem, so they're not just sitting there with no one around. But yeah, no, this will mean increased revenue for the airport going forward.
Yeah, without a doubt. Great.
Any more questions or comments? Mr. Holloway.
Yeah, I have a question. When they put the water line in down Walston Switch Road, we'd paved Walston Switch Road before they started putting the water line in, and they had to tear part of it up just on the north side of the Mount Herman Road, and they did a patch, and they're supposed to repair that back to the original condition. Do you have any idea? I've been getting questions about when that's going to be completed.
Unfortunately, I mean, that's a public works project technically, so I'm not in the weeds on that. I know there are several areas over in our technology park, the new taxiway we have going to our drone hangar, and they recently cut across Airport Road. So I would imagine, it's my guess, and I can follow up on this, it's my guess that they're planning on patching those all at one time.
The one that cuts across Airport Road into the industrial park, what was that for? Is that?
Well, it cuts across, it comes down Walston Switch and across Airport Road. The actual water line runs on the west side of Airport Road. So there will be other areas. They cross Airport Road to get to the terminal, to Piedmont, to get to our hangars, and then where it cuts across by Bayland Aviation, down across the end of the runway.
I'm talking about at the end of where Walston Switch Road used to come out, where it goes into that industrial park that's on the west side of Airport. It looks like they were putting piping in there. Is that something to do with the airport? Or?
Yeah, that is part of the.
Are we furnishing water to that industrial park, or um,
On the other side of the airport? Yeah.
on the other north side, or I guess call it the west side of the airport road.
Well, the airport industrial park is on, kind of on the southeast side of the airport, over by where FedEx and,
Now I'm talking about the west side of Airport Road. If you leave Mount Herman Road headed toward the airport,
you're saying the undeveloped?
yes.
No, this is strictly for airport.
So what they were doing, that had nothing to do with the airport?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You have any more questions or comments for Mr. Rudy? Okay, thank you. Ms. Hurley, will this have to be done by resolution?
Yes, I would recommend that it come back before council for formal approval at the next council meeting.
Okay, we can do that. Thank you, Mr. Rudy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Ms. Hurley?
Okay, next is a open work session on the relocation of a forest conservation easement located on 9115 Old Dagsboro Road in Delmar, Maryland, to an off-site mitigation bank. And we have Mr. Tyler Watson here with the Department of Planning, Zoning, and Community Development.
Good evening.
Tonight I have before you an application from Wilkins Noble LLC on behalf of Levin Harris. The property in question is on Old Dagsboro Road. It's 18.9 acres. The applicant is requesting permission to relocate a portion of the forest conservation easement that is located on the property. Currently, the site has an area of 16.55 acres and an FCA easement. The applicant requests that 500 square feet of the easement be moved to expand the building envelope. Since the relocation is proposed to occur off-site, the owner must relocate the easement at a 2-to-1 ratio. Staff recommends approval of this project since FCA requirements will be satisfied off-site.
All right, any questions or comments for Mr. Wilson? No questions.
I have one question.
Yes, Ms. Harley.
What's the reason for the relocation?
He's got a 5,000 square foot building envelope there, and he wants to expand it another 5,000 feet to bump it up to 10,000.
So it's just adding an addition on to his house?
I don't know if they have a house built already, but yeah, it's a house, and I think he wants a pole building eventually, yes.
So that will require 18 acres?
No, 18 acres is the size of the property. He's only asking for 5,000 square feet of the forest to be relocated.
And I heard you say 2-to-1. Mr. Hastings, were you getting ready to comment?
Yes, I guess it's kind of a broader question. I saw during the General Assembly, I didn't pay too much attention to it, but House Bill 991, I know the name got changed, so I just brought it up. It's now the Tree Solutions Now Act, but it's basically a forest conservation bill, and I didn't know what we are doing. It turns out there was an AG ruling, was it last year, that all the counties have been doing this completely wrong for the past, I don't know, 18 years or something like that, as far as how we, I guess these forest mitigation banks part of it. So I don't know if there's any, if that policy change is going to do anything, I guess, with regard to how we operate in the county. But I figured I'd put it back to you
Sure.
all. And if we don't have to talk about it now if you didn't want to, but if it is something that's on my mind. And
Well, yeah, I can give you some brief information on that.
Yeah.
The concern was that existing forest was being preserved and used for mitigation banking. As I understand it, the new law allows that now. I think there are some sunsetting provisions. It doesn't really change much for us. A lot of our mitigation banks were existing forest. So, in talking to Mako, I recommended that we kept that practice going.
Okay. Any more comments? All right, thank you. This will require a public hearing, which can be done on June 15th at approximately 10 a.m. All right, thank you. Ms. Hurley?
Okay, the next is a work session on the discussion on the sale of land preservation easements to the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Foundation. And we have Mr. Brian Soper here with the Department of Planning, Zoning, and Community Development.
All righty. If you will, state your name and title.
Keith Hall, Deputy Director, Wycomico County Planning and Zoning.
Yes, sir.
Brian Soper, Planning Manager for Wycomico County Planning and Zoning Community Development.
Okay.
Good evening. President Dodd, I won't be long. I wanted to come up and introduce Mr. Soper.
Okay.
It's his first time in front of council. He's our newest hire. We brought Brian on approximately 13 months ago, and I'd say his third day on the job was when COVID set in and we all got sent home.
Yeah.
So we haven't had the time to come up here yet and do a formal introduction. And Brian is the planning services manager. Part of that is he'll be looking after ag preservation. So it made a logical fit that in Gloria's retirement, Ms. Smith's retirement, Brian's kind of picked up the heavy load, and he's going to present tonight, but he's also been doing a great job working with Planning Commission as well as the Ag Board.
All right. Welcome. You've got some big shoes to fill.
Oh, very much so. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council. Tonight, we have before you, for introduction, the sale of 3 easements, or approval request for the sale of 3 easements. 2 of them are located on Pocomoke Road, and they're owned by Gary Breeding. In the documents that were submitted, they were adjacent to each other. And the other request is from Scrivener Farms, or Farm All LLC, and that's located northwest of Pittsville on both sides of Pittsville Road. Previously, as required by the MALF program, they have been to the Planning Commission for a favorable recommendation for compliance with the comprehensive plan. They have also been before the Agricultural Advisory, or the Agricultural Land Preservation Advisory Board for a favorable recommendation based upon the farm size, location, and soil suitability for the sale of an easement. And both of those recommendations were favorable to the council.
Okay. Any questions or comments on that before he moves on?
Ron, I got a quick question. We actually have talked about this a little bit, but I know by Comico, we are not a certified county. What do we have to do to get certified so we can get, additional funds for our conservation easements?
So we're currently in the process of reviewing our application to get recertified. We are working on that. We've had some small discussions with MDP about how to become certified again. And that would just increase our, and Keith, correct me if I'm wrong, that would just increase our return we get from the agricultural transfer tax compared to what we have now.
Right. Yeah, because I think it's, when you're not certified, what's it, we only keep, was it 30%?
It's 33%, and once you're certified, it's approximately 75%.
Right.
And keeping in mind, the total allocation can vary any given year. I haven't looked over, the past 2 years' numbers, but I think when I came to the council a few years ago, we were talking about that's a difference of leaving approximately $20,000 on the table. And while that doesn't sound like a lot in today's world, we can use that money to leverage and try to see if we can also, when there's times that maybe the state makes an offer and the offer is not acceptable to a landowner, maybe that's when the county could leverage its funds to try to make this deal go through for the preservation efforts for Wicomico County. So we've been without our preservation certification since 2008. And at the time, we were kind of hitting that market bubble with development. State law was very intense as far as wanting to really restrict development out in the agricultural zoning district. So I think at the time, MALF and the Maryland Department of Planning were really looking for very strong land use management tools to be implemented by the county. At such time, we had those considerations. You were part of that council at that time and other members up here. And subsequently, I think since you've seen the septic bill kind of go through and get implemented, as well as the stormwater management ordinance in 2011, it's changed the character of development in the rural areas of Wicomico County.
The tier mapping.
And the tier mapping that goes along with the septic bill. So we feel that we're going to have a strong application. We will work that through the Planning Commission and then ultimately back through the Executive's Office and to this council. And then hopefully we can get something submitted before the end of this calendar year. Thank you.
Mr. Hall, I'm not sure if I heard you correctly. So with the certification, that did not come in front of the council at that time, or it did and they decided?
It was not. Actually, the certification is under the authority of the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Foundation. So they're the ones that make the ultimate ruling of does a county get certified or subsequently does a county get recertified. Going back through the lens, I started in 2007, so I'm not sure what previous versions or previous a previous director might have done at that time, whether or not it came through the council. But I think just it's good housekeeping that when we're trying to get certifications that are going to bring money into the county, that we keep the county informed, the county being administration as well as the council.
Any more questions or comments?
I have a question.
Mr. Cannon?
It's for either one of you. When these properties are approved, is there, I'm assuming maybe, is there already a list, like 30 properties long, 50 properties long, of people who are already in order as far as who is next? Or is it just someone that happens to make that call and get the approval?
So this is two-pronged, and what I mean by that, the first thing Brian brought to council, or Mr. Soper brought in front of council today, is the new applications that we have for consideration, and that would be for state funding in FY 2022. There's other applications that have previously come in front of this legislative body for the same approval, seeking to send it off to the state for consideration. In addition to the 3 new ones that we have this year that have been processed, there are 6 additional ones from last year that will also be advanced for a total of 9 for state consideration. Another role of the Agricultural Land Preservation Advisory Board is to actually rank those evaluations, all 9 of them. And it's set on very strict state criteria. It's not arbitrary. Here's what it is, how do each properties rank. Subsequently, that information gets sent to the state as well. So that's how they'll really justify their offers. They'll look at the local ranking as well as the available dollars.
Preservation need, I guess, maybe changes as zoning changes and is mandated by the state of Maryland as well, because over the last 10 years, the state's had an awful lot of influence.
Absolutely. There's going to be that ebb and flow balance. What we have not seen at the state level is a decrease in funding for preservation efforts, even though other land use management tools are helping do just that.
And these properties, it appeared to me that I wasn't as familiar with the Pittsville, but the other the breeding properties did appear to be very close to what I would say very developable areas.
That's correct.
Without a question, yeah. So,
And that helps also with the prioritization, going back to that concept of creating a buffer around our densely developed areas versus our less densely developed areas.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Hastings, did you have a comment?
I'll just say that I appreciate you going through the process now. I hope we do. I actually, when I originally started to run for county council, this was actually one of my things that I had on my platform was to do our mouth recertification. I think it's so very important. You combine that with the other programs, and we can, make sure that agriculture has a future in Wycomico County. That groups like Purdue feel like they can stay here because this is something that we prioritize, and for a very, very long time. Much of the 80s and into the 90s and 2000s, Wycomico County did not prioritize agriculture or preservation, and this is something that's really important that helps a lot of farmers. So that's all I'll say on that. I do appreciate you going through the process, and thank you for doing that.
We're looking forward to it. It's important. I think as part of the 2017 census, we were the second-ranked county out of 23 counties in Baltimore City as far as the commodity value of our ag products. Therefore, anything we can do to try to help supplement state preservation efforts goes a long way for county.
Okay. Any more questions or comments? Okay, anything else? All right, that will require another hearing, which we can do it on June 1st at around 6 p.m.
Thank you all.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you both.
If there's nothing else, we can move to closed work session.
I got it.
Thank everyone for attending. And if you want to take a few minutes break, we can.